Hi, it's Pinkest, and today we will be continuing our serial killer by state series. The state that I have chosen for today is going to be Illinois. So trigger warning, this story involves violent and graphic content, so please watch with care, and may the victims and the departed rest in peace. Richard Benjamin Speck was born December 6, 1941 in Kirkwood, Illinois. He was the seventh of 8 children of Benjamin Frank Speck and Mary Margaret Carbrough. At 11 p.m. on July 13, 1966, Speck broke into 2913 East 100th Street townhouse in Chicago's Jeffrey Manor neighborhood. The townhouse was functioning as a dormitory for student nurses. He entered and, only using a knife, killed Gloria Davy, Patricia Matusek, Nina Jo Schmal, Pamela Wilkening, Susan Ferris, Marianne Jordan, Marlita Gargulo, and Valentina Passion. Speck, who later claimed that he was both drunk and high on drugs, may have originally planned to commit a routine burglary. Speck held the women in a room for hours, leading them out one by one, stabbing or strangling each to death. Then finally raping and strangling his last victim, 22-year-old Gloria Davy. Intervals of between 20 and 30 minutes elapsed between each murder. One woman, Karazan Amurao, escaped death because she crawled and hid under a bed while Speck was out of the room. Speck possibly lost count or might have even known 8 women lived in the townhouse but was unaware that a 9th woman was spending the night. She stayed hidden until almost 6 o'clock a.m. Karazan and 2 of the other women were actually exchange nurses from the Philippines. Speck then attempted suicide, and the Star Hotel desk clerk phoned in the emergency around midnight, and Speck was taken to Cook County Hospital on July the 17th. At the hospital, Speck was recognized by Dr. Leroy Smith, a 25-year-old surgical resident physician who had read about one of his tattoos in a newspaper story. The police were called, and Speck was finally arrested. Speck later claimed he had no recollection of the murders, but he had confessed to the crime to Dr. Leroy Smith at the Cook County Hospital. Smith could not testify because the confession was made while Speck was sedated. Speck's jury trial began April 3, 1967, with a gag order on the press. In court, Speck was positively identified by the sole surviving student nurse, Karazan. When she was asked if she could identify the killer of her fellow students, she rose from her seat in the witness box, walked directly in front of Speck, and pointed her finger at him, nearly touching him, and said, "This is the man." On April 15th, after 49 minutes of deliberation, the jury found Speck guilty and recommended the death penalty. And on June 5th, the judge sentenced Speck to die in the electric chair, but granted an immediate stay pending automatic appeal. On November 21st, 1972, his conviction was reduced to 100 to 300 years. He was also denied parole in 7 minutes at his first parole hearing on September 15, 1976, and at 6 subsequent hearings in 1977, 78, 81, 84, 87, and 1990. Speck did not like speaking to reporters, but in 1978 he did hold an interview, and he stated that at the time of the killings he had no feelings, but things had changed. Quotations, "I had no feelings at all that night. They said there was blood all over the place. I can't remember. It felt like nothing. I'm sorry as hell. For those girls and for their families and for me. If I had to do it over again, it would be a simple house burglary." December 5, 1991, Speck was transported from Stateville Correctional Center to Silver Cross Hospital after complaining of severe chest pains. Speck later died in the early morning hours of December 5th of what was believed to be a heart attack, 1 day shy of what would have been his 50th birthday. Speck's sister feared that his grave would be desecrated, so he was cremated and his ashes were scattered in an undisclosed location in the Joliet area. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't be shy. Let me know what state I should cover next.